Well, we do it every Tuesday at this time because Drew Brees set a bunch of records. We pushed it off for 30 minutes, but let's do it on Tuesday. Let's do our herd hierarchy.
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
I like the Chicago Bears. Didn't play, but they're number one in the NFL in sacks. Best pass rush in the NFL. They lead the NFC in takeaways. They have the best rushing defense. And I think Mitch Trubisky's limited, but Matt Nagy is a very clever offensive coach. They're about 60% college, 40% pro. And I hope the Bears remain in the top 10 all year. I think it's a really, really interesting team. And they have Chicago's always been led by their defense. Find a great Bears team. It always feels like it's led by its defense. So they're playing to brand, but I have the Bears at number 10.
Number 9.
Minnesota, same division. Listen, Kirk Cousins is fine. I mean, he's not, in a top 7, 8 in the NFL, but he's third in the NFL in passing. They have tremendous wide receiver threats. And by the way, here's the thing about Minnesota. Their defense isn't great, but it's not bad on third down. Listen, everybody's scoring in this league. I kind of look at your third down defense. Can you situationally get the opposing offense off the field? Minnesota's not terrible at that. They're not. And so I have the Vikings with a very electric pass offense, a good home field advantage, the best roster in their division, and they get you off the field pretty well on third down is number 9.
Number 8.
Carolina Panthers. Listen, when Cam's winning, it's because he has a very dynamic running game, and Carolina leads the NFL in rushing. But I also think this is it. He's completed over 60% of his passes. He didn't play brilliantly for all of the New York Giants game, but he did make some big throws. This team is different. They're a little bit like Chicago. They're going to do it with their front 7 defensively. They're going to run the football more than other teams. They're not going to be as dynamic on the perimeter and outside. I mean, I think Christian McCaffrey leads them in receptions. That tells you all you need to know. But they're definitely a top 10 team. I have Carolina at number 8.
Number 7.
I still think Pittsburgh's loaded. And again, Pittsburgh's got problems defensively. But here's what they do. They get to the quarterback. So my theory on the NFL, if they're the opposite of New England. New England's great on the back end of their defense. Pittsburgh's great up front. They're not good in the back end. And if you told me I had a choice between the two, I'd rather have a great pass rush and figure out the secondary later. By the way, the Steelers have scored 30-plus points in 3 of their last 4 games, and James Conner's got almost 600 scrimmage yards. So they're not a great team, but I thought they were super impressive against Atlanta. They are growing, and I have them at number 7.
Number 6.
I still like the Ravens a lot. I wish Joe Flacco at 6'5" would have fewer balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. I can't figure that out. But they bring in Lamar Jackson now. That works. They lead the NFL in scoring defense, and they also lead the NFL in third down defense. And again, I think this team's going to be better by Thanksgiving. They got 2 rookie tight ends, 3 new wide receivers. They had many opportunities to win that game, and they didn't. But I'm not selling all my stock on Baltimore. I still think they're the best team in that division. Best defense in that division, best scoring defense in the NFL, best third down defense in the NFL with a veteran quarterback and a veteran head coach.
Number 5.
LA Chargers. I mean, they just threw the Raiders around for 3.5 hours. By the way, their only losses are to the 5-0 Chiefs and the 5-0 Rams. And they were in both those games. So Phillip Rivers has had 6 consecutive games with multiple touchdown passes dating back to last season. That's the NFL's longest streak. And if you watch the Raider game again, that defense shut down the Raiders. And the Raiders have all sorts of offensive elements, and they shut them down. They may be the second team in L.A., but the Chargers' personnel front to back is really, really good.
Number 4.
New England. It's a quarterback coach league. They've scored 38 points in each of their last 2 games. Again, they don't have a pass rush. And I don't know if you can generate one. I think you can get – their secondary is great. It's the strength of their team. Brady, Gronk, Edelman, Chris Hogan, Sony Michel, that rookie running back, James White. Their strength of their offense is they've got a lot of efficient offensive players. Not a lot of dynamic guys, but a lot of efficient guys. They can pick up yards. A lot of first downs. A lot of time of possession. Defensively, no pass rush, but they're tremendous at corner, great at safety. And I think they have the best coach and quarterback in the NFL, so I have them at 4.
Number 3.
I think the Saints remind me a lot of the Patriots with a better offensive line. Nobody in the NFL's allowed fewer sacks They've got a better offensive line in New England, and they do have a dynamic wide receiver on the outside. But I look at this team and I think smart, efficient. They can 5-yard you to death. You can't get to their quarterback. They don't turn it over much. Very good home field advantage. I mean, that was embarrassing for Washington last night. That wasn't competitive. And that was Alex Smith and a veteran coach with coming off a bye week. I got New Orleans at 3.
Number 2.
Kansas City. By the way, even Vegas admits that turnovers are random, except for New England and Kansas City. Andy Reid's teams don't turn the ball over. Only 3 turnovers. Once again, Kansas City, fewest turnovers in the NFL. Now, they're last in total defense, and that's a huge problem. They started last year 5-0. They're 5-0. I think against New England, I think the way you look at Kansas City is just 5-yard them to death. Death by 1,000 cuts. I think the defense is ultimately going to catch up to them. They've got to get better, especially on the back end. Too many explosion plays they give up, but I have Kansas City at 2.
Number 1.
The Rams. Listen, going to Seattle, losing 2 of your receivers, and still winning that game, I still think this is a great football team. Now, it's a salary cap era. They're not perfect. They don't have a great pass rush. Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald are monsters on the interior, but they don't have a great pass rush. And it's safety back end. You can go over the top a little bit on them. I don't think their linebacking core is perfect, but if you're talking, coaching, coordinating, O-line, interior D-line, corners, receivers, superstar back. It's funny, for all the points, they still feel like a power offense to me with Todd Gurley. I have the Rams at number 1. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.